Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Let's Talk Marketing with NDub podcast, where I'm your host, Nathan Webster, and I'm excited to chop it up with you today. Today, for episode 176, targeting your ideal customer avatar. Before I get started, I want to say thank you to all my worldwide listeners that have been downloading, rocking with me, sharing content, engaging with me, even writing reviews. Thank you very much. To my first time listeners, thank you for coming on to the show. I hope you enjoy the content. And to my worldwide listeners, the regular folks that are coming on here, hey, I got a surprise coming for you here really soon, and I'm going to share that to you after the podcast, okay? So this is where I think we are in a different realm of marketing, okay? We are in a different realm, and let me move over my mic. I'm going to sit back at, let me get a little comfortable, right? Because I want to talk about some stuff that's pretty important that I think not enough businesses do. And I'm not saying I know all. I'm not professing to be the one to come to for all these things. Look, I'm here to talk about marketing. One of the key things that I've seen along my journey, and let me just tell you straight up, when I first started the company with my wife, we saw that one of the easiest types of businesses that needed our services was restaurants. Restaurants don't typically, this is pre-pandemic, typically didn't have a website that was engaging and also mobile friendly. So we would go in and we would say, hey, we see that your social media isn't the greatest, and I see that the website that you have is not pushing any content to social media. Now, the flip side to that is restaurants don't have very much margin. They have very little margin, from anywhere from 5, and let me even say from 2, depending on how well they're dealing with their spoilage, their over distribution, portion control, and I would just say not incorrect ordering, or I should say not correct ordering. So incorrect ordering when it comes to managing table flips, rushes, holidays, not capitalizing on larger distribution opportunities that are available from bigger sites, as in vendors, manufacturers. I could go on and on about that, but it is something that we started to study, and we were like, if we can start with social media, we can do the website, and then we can help with strategy, because social media is a tactic of your marketing strategy. And when we see the tactic that's not very strong, we can see, okay, they're lacking in strategy, but part of that strategy, which you should always have in your social media, is some sort of feed that's coming from your website. Now, not all restaurants do this. Pre-pandemic. Post-pandemic, you are now starting to see from menus to QR codes. I make menus as mobile menus. They are either tapped into some sort of the really good ones. They have I don't want to say the names because ain't nobody sponsoring, right? But let's say the ones that you order online from your phone, okay? I know a couple of restaurants that have been burned by them because they increase your rates anywhere from 15 to 30%. And I'm not going to get into that, but that's how we started to identify our customer. Now, I'm going to go into how I identify this customer like I just did, but I'm going to take a little bit deeper and I'm going to back up. So when we were starting the type of agency we knew we were a B2B, not B2C, business to business type of company. So that meant we were working with key decision makers and potentially owners. That means we had to build our content to where people could know, like, and trust us, to where we got past the gatekeeper pretty fast. It got immediately to the decision maker, so we could begin working on finding them the right solutions so that they could capitalize and monetize on what we were building, especially for the fact that more than likely they had to put it on credit, right? Unfortunately, because they just didn't have the money in the coffers to do it. So we started understanding who could quickly generate us less revenue. Of course, we went to other places or industries, and we started to build that. And I don't want to focus on I want to focus now on the restaurant, because not only were they B2C like us, but they were also B2C, mainly B2C. But the other part about the B2B is that they could do catering and they could do takeout ordering when it comes to larger parties, which is a big deal, bigger margin, right? And it's pre-planning. So for a restaurant, we were able to target them and say, hey, look, we can help you on both ways. So when a restaurant, and this is for every industry, it's going to be different. And even every restaurant within the industry is going to be different. And I'm giving you these samples because that's how I, as a nonlinear thinker, I need like, okay, how does that work? I don't get it. And it's frustrating because you can say, well, that may work for them, but I'm going to tell you this model doesn't work for every single restaurant, because some of these restaurants don't stay open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Some only stay open for breakfast and lunch and dinner, or just dinner. So you got to be very specific in how you want to serve your community, because back in the day, it used to mean something to be in a walking destination location. Now it's all about having a destination location. Okay. So there's factors to figuring out how to target your ideal customer avatar. When you start off, you need to understand first and foremost what type of company you are. You need to also understand the infrastructure that you built. When you are delivering these services, you need to make sure you get them to whomever you're getting it to immediately. And let's just say your value proposition is as simple as a chocolate chip cookie. I love chocolate chip cookies. I wrote that. I use chocolate chip cookies in my book. I use chocolate chip cookies in some of my presentations. Sorry, I thought I turned off my noise, but my bad if you heard that. And I want to use chocolate chip cookies because here's one thing that you can't say everyone loves chocolate chip cookies, which I'm one of those people that I don't like chocolate chip cookies, but if it's a good chocolate chip cookie, I'll eat it. So in this example of the chocolate chip cookie, it's not for everybody. Not everyone likes sweets. Not everyone likes chocolate. And chocolate chip cookie, hey, don't you know there's flour in that? Not everybody wants gluten. So here's where you got to say, okay, who am I serving this cookie to? Because when you're targeting your ideal customer, if I was a baker, I have to put them in the right spot. You have to learn when you are targeting your ideal customer avatar, you have to be where they're at, and you have to fulfill that pleasure that they didn't know they needed to have. So here's where a chocolate chip cookie is not solving anybody's problems, okay? It's not life or death. Now, you may have a problem like, man, I want something sweet. Let me get something sweet like a chocolate chip cookie, or let me go ahead and get something to reward myself for my hard work, or shoot, man, I just want to treat myself, right? What places are available that have those chocolate chip cookies? You got to make sure you are putting yourself in the position, because what's the point of having a great product if it can't get to the right people? So the problem is that I see with a lot of companies that I talk to, I'm realizing like, oh, I can't help you. You place yourself in a position that your people can't get to you. So when you're targeting your ideal customer avatar, people believe sometimes they can continue to throw money at it, and I promise you that's not it. Look, I do believe, I have seen people put a lot of money into something and no one's buying it because it's not what they want. It's just not what they want. I'm trying not to go into a little PTSD session here, because I understand and I truly hope that when you create your company, you love what you do. And if you don't love what you do, well, then there's a problem. But here's the reality. Here's the truth. You know, they say the truth will set you free, but first it's going to piss you off. Hey, I'm going to let you know, not everyone's going to love your product. Not everyone's going to love your service. And even though when you get to friends or family, they are buying your stuff or supporting you because they love you, but that doesn't mean they're a client. When I say when people buy business or do business with who they know, like, and trust, not everyone that trusts you believe that your stuff might be pretty good. Now, they may trust you and they might buy from you, but that doesn't mean they like it. So this is where the danger of when you are using your close confidants, right? Your close associate, right? You see how I kind of duck back in there? You can barely see my face. I'm doing that because look, people say, okay, I pay, but not always the case. When I used to run my nonprofit back in the day, I found it was so easy for people to take me out for a $5-10 coffee, maybe take me out for lunch, rarely spend $20-30 on me, but they wouldn't want to make a $5 donation. They did not want to do more than a $20 to $50 donation. They did not want to commit to that level. So your ideal customer avatar are not just people that are going to support you for you. They love what you're doing. Like that product could potentially save their life. Think about that. Your ideal customer avatar is someone that's going to use it. And lastly, I want to point out too is that they will also budget for it. So in marketing, we have what's called a customer lifetime value. So in the lifetime of you doing business with them, they're going to spend X amount of money. So when I'm figuring out what type of, say, client I want, right? I know it's going to be a B2B client. They've already done the hard startup infrastructure to their marketing. Then here's another key thing. They know they need marketing. Not everyone believes they need marketing. It's funny if you watch Phil Knight's Air, or it's not him, but the Air, or when you read about him in Shoe Dog, and he even said like he wasn't a big proponent. He didn't believe in marketing, but right, that's not what history tells us, right? So people that believe in marketing, also people that are now ready, and I say people, but key decision makers, and sometimes it's with spouses too, because you know they're not the only one foot in the bill. When it comes to the ones that are understanding that they put as much money as they can in this, and they alone can't do it. The last one that leads into it is they don't want to do it. Okay. Now you may say, well, that's obvious, Nathan. No, it's not. It's not, because I have to get through some gatekeepers and I have to talk to some folks to say whether you want this or not. And not everybody wants a marketer. Not everyone wants me as a marketer. Not everybody wants my agency to represent them in the background. Some people say a lot of things, which I'm not going to get into. But when it comes to targeting your avatar that's going to be right for you, start with one, but more than likely you're going to have 3, maybe 5, because I have more than 5. But when I'm running my marketing agency, I'm focusing on 2 things: websites, WordPress websites that include hosting. Okay. That's one. Okay. There's 2 different servers, but that's one. And then the last one is marketing strategy for brand monetization. And that's specifically very niche. Actually, someone said on YouTube, it's niche. Someone also that I know says it's niche. Hey, look, how do you want to say it? So I heard someone that had a lot of money says the riches are in the niches. So you pronounce it whatever you want. But here's where you cannot, coming back to, you can have a great product, but the people are not buying it because you sell it in the wrong place. Well, it's the same concept for targeting your ideal customer avatar. If you are putting your avatar as someone that is saying yes, and you're like, they're kind of akin to you, and they are likened to your desires, wants, and kind of like that, you know, they're part of the ones that are early adopters. They're like, yeah, let's go, let's do it. And most of the time, if it wasn't for you, they wouldn't have bought it, you know? So you got to think about that. So I could go on and on about this. This is something that I had a conversation with the client, and I end on this story here, and they were like, we have like 3 different clients. I'm like, no, let's only focus on one. We can lead up to that. And they were just so stubborn. They didn't want to focus on that one. Well, when it came to where I said, all right, are you ready to do these ads? Well, in the ad platform, they were like, oh, I can only target one type of person. I was like, yes, that's what I've been trying to tell you. You can't do all of them. You can, but your budget is only this amount. And if you want to target them equally, you don't have a budget for that. So let's focus your budget on the number one avatar that's going to be right for you. And that is why it's so important. When you start focusing on your target, things open up. And that, go back to my podcast, the episode that I talked about STP. When you segment, target, and position, if you're not doing that correctly, you're hurting yourself. And like I said, I have a surprise for y'all here real soon for those that leave review, okay? Because I want to reward you that have been listening and downloading the show. I'm going to start having some rewards. So if you have left a review, stay tuned to the next episode and you're going to see what's in store for you. Okay? And if you haven't left a review, here's your time. Get in line. Okay? Because there's something for you. And with that, please leave a review. I wish you nothing but the success that you have built for yourself and what you're doing to dream big, not settle and grind away at what you're supposed to be doing, what God's created you to do. Go get it! Go get it. Go get it. Because lots of rap. I wish you nothing but the best. So dream big and Godspeed.